Day wherever you are in the world, and thank you so much for joining another live stream. Sorry we're about a minute late. I don't know what's happened. I'm definitely going to blame Tony for this, because everything seems to have gone wrong tonight. But there you go. That's life in the fast lane. That's life when you go live. So you may have to bear with me at the beginning of this, because we have different studios on this. I know it sounds all technical, but it's not. We have different studios, and for some reason we weren't in the correct one. So we booted our star guest, who is Barbara from Texas. We booted her completely out of the conversation. So now she's sat at home wondering what on earth's going off. So while I'm doing all of this, I'm going to be sending Barbara an email. So you'll have to bear with me 1 second. This is live, so just bear with me. I'm going to be sending Barbara an invitation to join us on this stream. Just bear with me. God, this is so unprofessional, isn't it? But there you go. It's live. What can I do? What can I do? These problems happen. Okay, so I've sent Barbara an invitation. Hopefully she's going to get the link. So tonight is the famous CNN Barbara from Texas. I don't know if you guys have seen her at all, but this has happened a couple of weeks ago. And Barbara was a client of she's a friend of ours now, that bought from us a year ago and moved out here from Texas all on her own. And her story got picked up by CNN. I think it was about 2 weeks ago now. And things just went absolutely crazy for us. And her story went all over the world. It was in some of the newspapers in the UK. It was streamed all over the place. And so I contacted her, and we got loads of emails as well from new people that were coming along. Contacted her and said, Barbara, can you come back on? She already did one of these 1 year ago, and she said that she would, and she's going to be with us tonight, hopefully, even though I can't see her. So Tony, the producer, if you're watching, if you could just contact Barbara and just find out if she's received her invitation, because everything's just going to a bit of a mess at the moment. Anyway, let's talk about what's coming up. This is before Barbara comes in. Let's talk about what's actually coming up on these shows. So I can't believe we're going into November. Barbara's coming in, so she's there. I can see her on our little screen. Wave to me, Barbara, if you can hear me. Okay, people are going to think I'm nuts now because I'm waving to this imaginary Barbara, but she is there. Anyway, I'm just so relieved that she is. What was I saying? Can't remember. But anyway, oh yeah, November. Can you believe that we're almost there? It's just unbelievable. We've got the last of our tours for 2023, which I'm going to talk to you about in a second. This week, so I'm going to throw a few lives in this week. That's why we're doing this on a Tuesday rather than a Thursday, because I know we normally do this on a Thursday, but we've got our group here tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, so we're going to do a few lives from a few towns around the area, and hopefully you guys are going to join on some of that as well. And then in November, the next Thursday, we've got David Nixon coming back. We've got David Nixon coming back. That's is our currency man. So the foreign currency exchange. You're going to find out the best way to look at how you can save potentially thousands, and I mean thousands, on foreign exchange. So when you're changing your money from dollars or pounds or whatever it may be over to euros, David is the person that's going to explain how it all works, the kind of deals that he can do for you, and that's going to be next Thursday. Then we're thinking about doing a 3-stage session of going through the whole process. I know we do this anyway. We do talk about the legal documents. We do other things like that, but we're thinking about sort of doing a one after the other, 3 stages, the complete walkthrough of how a property is bought here, and then we're going to finish off possibly November with our friend Pacentro Pete. And if you wonder who Pacentro Pete is, he's a guy from the States that bought a property in a place called Pacentro, and he's out here now. We're just sorting out internet for him to get fiber optics to his home. So provided that's done in time, Pacentro Pete will also be on here. Tony's showing me a few. Tony, I've got the numbers, so it's sorry, my producer's going a bit mad. Everything just went absolutely crazy before. That's why I was 1 minute late getting on, because Anyway, I'm not going into it again. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening through November. Then into December, we're going to be talking about Abruzzese. I want to get some of these people that's been on these tours to come and join us as a group and give you their experiences and what they thought of Abruzzese when they were traveling around. We're going to have loads of fun leading up to Christmas. Can you just believe? I mean, I'm already grey, but the way time's passing, where are we all going? Anyway, we do it together. We grow old and gracious together. Okay, that's an agreement. We stay together. We stick together. So even when I'm 103 and still here, I expect you guys to be with me as well. Remember that. Okay, before we bring Barbara on, I just want to talk about the tours. I do want to let you know, any new people that's on here tonight or new people watching any of the recordings, the tours are where we have groups of people getting together, all looking at properties in the area and that kind of thing. We pick you up from Pescara. We do these a couple of days tours together. We eat together. Great ways of seeing the area. So these are, I'll be sending more information by email to everybody as well. But I must say that January and March are now completely booked. January and March are completely booked. So the only ones available at the moment is May 23rd and 24th. However, we are considering adding an April tour on, which we weren't planning on doing until I realized that Easter next year is at the end of March. For some reason, I thought it was the end of April, so I wanted to stay away from that. So it looks like, because January and March have filled up completely, it looks now quite possible that we're going to do one at the end of April. If you are interested at the one at the end of April, if we decide to do that, if you could please email to the address below, email info@homeinitaly.com, just to say that yes, if you do decide to do one in April, we would be interested, just so I can get an idea of numbers and that kind of thing. And then we'll decide then by next week whether we're going to add that on. So just to let you know again, the January and March are completely full, but we are considering putting one on at the end of April. And then we won't do the summer months. We're contemplating June, but I know how hot it can get in June, and it's not much fun then jumping up and down on jumping up, on and off, should I say, not up and down. You don't jump up and down on our coaches, you jump off and on. Yeah. So we it's not much fun in the summertime. So even though we are still available to show properties, I don't think we're going to be doing summer months, but we are definitely going to be doing the autumn months. We just need to decide whether they're doing September, October, November, or 2 in October again. But it's more than likely going to be the end of September, end of October, and end of November, more than likely. But we'll let you know about that. We don't want to start thinking about 1 year from now, do it. It's already, I can feel, look how white I am there now. I don't know whether I should. The thing is, if I have a color, why am I talking to you about this? Anyway, you're all going to call me out, aren't you? Because you all know that I am naturally grey. That's just the way it is. I think that's everything. Are you ready to come on, Barbara? Just nod your head if you are. She's looking very emotional. Now, this is, her feed has just disappeared. What I will say is Barbara is on she's using, what do they call it? Whatever it's called, the Sky satellite, and we've got a really bad storm that's going over us at the moment. Barbara, if you can, because I can see your little screen, can you give me a little wave if you can hear me? Oh, she's waving to me. So she's ready to come on. What I will say is, if Barbara does disappear, obviously I will come back on the screen. If for any reason we both disappear, then wait for me to come back. It's just there's a really bad storm, and that may affect Barbara's more than mine. Worst case scenario, if she goes off forever, then this unfortunately will have to turn into a Q&A session, but hopefully not. I think that's all the notice I've got. Have I missed anything, Tony? Is there any no, he said I've not missed anything. He's been a bit boring. I think he's a bit upset tonight because he hasn't got a glass of something in front of him. Let me, oh, he has. He's just showing me on now anyway. Okay, so let's get Barbara in. Just bear with me 1 second, and let's say hello to the now famous Barbara. And here she comes. Good evening.
Good evening to you and Tony.
How are you doing, Barbara?
Doing good, and you too?
All good, all good. The thing is, we're talking like this as if we're miles apart from each other, but you live about 2 or 3 kilometers away from me, don't you? So yeah. In fact, In fact, really, what we should have done tonight is you could have come here and sat. You know, we could have shared a glass of wine as well while we're doing this. Next time we'll do that, definitely. Oh, it looks like she's blocked again. Okay, we're gonna. I've got a feeling tonight's gonna be one of those nights, but we are going to keep going, and she will come back shortly. So while let me just hide her on the stream until I know that she comes back. As soon as she comes back, I will bring her back on. So I'm going to start the story a little bit about. Oh, she's here. She's here. Okay, we've got you again now, Barbara. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those nights tonight with this, but let's see how we go on. Okay, so let's start from the very, very beginning. Why? Tell us where you're from, first of all.
Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, you lived there all your life.
Yes.
Up until now. So why Italy? Let's not talk about Abruzzo. How come all of a sudden you thought to yourself, you know what, I'm moving to Italy? How did that all come about?
Well, I've always liked to travel, and I was looking into Spain for a long time, but it wasn't really doing it for me. So I decided to look into Italy more, and I really liked Italy a lot better. It's a lot greener. I don't know. I just like Italy a lot better.
Had you been to Italy before?
Yes, back in 1985. So, a long time ago.
And where did you go when you at that time?
The usual: Venice, Pisa, Rome, all those.
So all the usual suspects. Then, yeah. So you went to Venice. This is what I always find. I think it's fantastic when people are adventurous, but it happens all the time where people do the usual suspects, the Rome, the Venice, the whatever. Then they think, you know what, I'm going to move to Italy. So the idea first was Europe. Then was it between Spain and Italy, and then you thought Italy. So when was it when was it when you actually thought, I'm going to do this? I'm going to move to Italy. How long ago would you say that was?
Actually, in 2019, I started looking into it and started doing a little bit of research. And then when, of course, COVID hit, it gave us a lot of downtime and a lot of time to do stuff at the house. So I did a lot of internet research and just kind of thought, I might like to do something different besides, I lived in the same house for 50 years. And so I thought it was time to try to change and do something a little different. Just kind of get out of my norm that I'm normally into the same routine. So I thought I'd try it out. And I've read where so many people have done it, and a lot of single women have done it. People can do it. I can do it. So that's when I started.
Okay, we seem to have got a little bit of a break. I can hear the storm passing by, mate. So I think. Oh, sorry. I think, are you coming back in there? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So that's when you started doing your research then. So it was mainly during COVID times.
Yes.
And that sort of coincided with. I always remember your name because you seem to email me quite a lot at that time. Can I say you were hounding me? we're friends now, so I'm allowed to say it.
I was a bothersome soul.
No, I always remember your name, but it was during COVID times when we suddenly decided to start doing our live streams. So obviously you found, I don't know how you found us at that time because the channel really hadn't grown very much and all the rest of it. You were there right at the very start, I would say, when we first started doing them. How did you come across us, just out of interest?
I think I got your name from one of the other UK sites.
Okay.
And so I did one of their webinars. I got up at 3 a.m. to do one of their webinars. And so I liked them okay, but they were.
Sorry about this, folks. We will. She will come back on, I'm sure. We are having problems a little bit with Barbara's internet, but she will come. She will come back to it. Oh, I can hear your voice again. Yeah. So you started watching the webinars, the ones from the UK. I remember the ones that we did, and then you started following us. So obviously you got this love affair in Italy. And you thought, I'm going to move to Italy, which is great. So why Abruzzo then? Why all of a sudden Abruzzo?
Well, I've really never heard of Abruzzo, because it's not really like a big tourist place that everybody talks about. And like on my first interview with you, I told you I was looking in Tuscany, but then you see all the people, all the traffic, and all the tourists, and then the houses there are more expensive, and you get very little bang for your buck there. So you were showing pictures of Abruzzo and going around and getting people familiar with the area, and I really liked the area. I liked the greenery, the mountains. I've been to Colorado several times, and I really like Colorado and their mountains. So I thought, that's when I shifted from where I was.
Okay. So we just missed the last part of that, but we got the idea. So okay. So once you obviously you started joining our webinars regular, and I remember you sent an email saying I'm coming out. You did sort of do a remote buy but you came out to see the house, and then you left it with us to sort things out for you. So you came, if I remember rightly, was it about April 2021 last year? 2022, sorry, last year, wasn't it? Right. Yeah, for the first trip. And I remember you telling me then, I'm coming out. I want to find something because I'm going to move out there. And I thought, okay, that's fine. Let's get on with it. I think we'd scheduled to see 9 properties, something like that. I think we did a fair bit of the area. And then something just got you about the place that you chose, didn't it? And what I'm gonna do is while we're talking, if you can tell us what it was because I remember things changing a little bit when they went in that house, and if you explain how you felt when you saw this place and what it was about that where you thought I really love it, and then I'm gonna get some photographs to show people.
Well, it's one of those houses you really didn't have to do any work to, because I didn't want to do any major renovations or any work, because I did research to see how it takes to get people to come out and do interviews and do work. So this house, it was really easy just to really walk in and just move in. I didn't have to do anything. So that's what I liked about it. And I like the area, and I like the views. So, and when I have people come over, they're always like, wow, look at that view back there. Yeah.
But the crazy thing is that I remember when you came out, and obviously I thought to myself, you're moving out on your own, you're doing everything on your own. Great, you can tell you're a strong person. You made your mind up. This is what I want to do. And I remember thinking at the time, possibly we should show you somewhere where there's lots of public transport and all that kind of stuff. And then in the end, I mean, you bought. I'll let you explain what Palombaro and the areas are like. Yes, we are in the countryside, but we're not. I wouldn't say we're remote. We're very close to towns and things like that. But you still need a car. So all of a sudden, you jumped into everything of saying, okay, well, I'll just buy a property in where I need a car. Did that not bother you in any way? Did you just think, I'm just going for it?
I was a little bit nerve-wracked first about the driving part. But I thought, I can do this. And I really didn't. I like some of the towns and the villages, but I like to kind of having my own spread and my own part. And it just, I don't know, seems like it's easier to get in and out, because getting into the villages and some of the towns, it can, you know how the roads are. Everything's small and it's hard to park, and sometimes you can't find a place to park or a parking garage. So you can't just be without a car, even if you have public transportation, because there's so much to get out and see and do.
Yeah.
In a lot of places, there's not a bus or a train station to stop in, and you kind of miss all that.
Yeah,
just going past.
I agree with that, because I think you'll agree with me as well. I think that Abruzzo is about the experiences you get in all different parts, isn't it? It's not just about. It's not like we're living in the center of Rome, or the set where you just think, okay, well, I'll spend the rest of my life in the center of Rome. Abruzzo is just one huge place that you can find something new every day of your life, can't you?
Exactly, and that's and when I first started driving, I was kind of nervous. Countryside.
Hopefully, she's going to come back on shortly, folks. Just bet. Sorry,
Once
Barbara. Sorry, Barbara. I'm just going to stop you again because it cut off slightly. So we heard you say that you were kind of nervous. Strangely enough, when I knew you were on the road and you lived a couple of kilometers, I was nervous.
you were nervous.
but what? So I mean, I remember one brilliant adventure that you went on, where you went to the wrong Carsally. You'd been to one particular town, and somehow you managed to drive probably nearly 2 hours away before you realised it wasn't the town that was 10 minutes away. We'll save that for another one. Did you find it quite stressful at the beginning?
It was very stressful at first, coming around the curves, and you've got people right on you and want you to hurry. But I got over that, and I feel very comfortable now. I don't even use my GPS, only if I'm out of the area and going somewhere I've never been before. But I don't have any problem now. And when I first moved here, when we first did our interview, I told you I was kind of nervous about driving in the dark.
Yes.
Still kind of am, but not too much, because I've driven in the dark from Cassoulet, from Eurospin, from your house, and from some other friends' house that are in the area. And so I'm getting a little bit better at the driving part in the dark, but anything further than I'm used to, then I won't do it. But yeah, I'm getting better at it.
Perfect. And to be fair, everything that you're doing, you're sat in the car on your own in a place that still is, even though you're coming up to a year now, aren't you? It's but it's great that you get out and about. So I just want to show a few people. Gino's just come up with a question that is saying, way off topic, how is internet there? He's probably asking because your internet keeps cutting off. Unfortunately, Barbara's in it. Well, you've actually put the star, is it Starlink, whatever it's called?
Yes, Starlink.
Yeah,
Elon Musk Starlink.
Yeah, but I think the connection problems you're having is not with the internet, is it's between getting it from one room to another, because the walls where your house is so thick.
Yes.
You need extra extenders, because if not, the Italian is the internet is very good. Ed saying, how difficult was it getting an Italian driver's license? That's what you're working on at the moment, isn't it, to go through?
Yeah, I'm still studying on that. I have an expansion of a gnat. I always find something. Oh yeah, I'm going to sit down and do some studying. Oh, but yeah, I've got this to do outside. So I'm working on it. I mean, I've got the theory. I mean, I've got that down. It's just I'm taking the online test to see how I'm doing, and I'm getting all the questions down, and I'm getting a lot better on it. But
yeah.
I'm working on it.
You'll get there. You'll get there really quick. Yeah. Okay, so I want to show people a little bit of your property. What's this one saying? Two Doves. Hello. We love watching. We're also in Texas and fell in love with Italy when we visited last year. So you need to come on out. That's what you need to do. Come and see this place. So let's show people the house that you chose. Obviously, the white one on the picture. Hopefully, everybody can see this. Not sure if people can see my. Let me just see if I can. How do I do this? Bear with me 1 second. I should have been organized before we came on. Turn on the pen. Here we go. Right. So hopefully people can see this. Is Palombaro here up in? So you sort of look across the valley to it. I mean, you've got amazing views from your place, haven't you?
I've got, yeah. If I walk down to where the pool is, where that wall, I can see Cassoulet, and then I can see some other, I can't think of the other places right offhand.
From your place, you can see just about every town in the local area, can't you? So
Yeah,
let me.
and during Festa, I could see all the fireworks coming from all over the place.
Fantastic. So this is looking out of the back again, and hopefully people can see that this is the town of Palombaro that you're sort of the opposite side of the valley from. So this kind of scenery, this is all taken from your garden, is just absolutely superb. Obviously, I'll let you explain how your house is sort of laid out, because it was originally 2 houses, wasn't it?
It was.
Barbara seems to have cut off slightly. Hopefully, she's going to come. We seem to get sound back. Hopefully, can you hear me, Barbara? I'll carry the conversation on while Barbara comes back on. Oh, yep, she's there. Yep. So basically, yeah, it was 2 houses, was it? It was basically split down like this. You didn't do the work, but you bought it then as one house altogether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that makes it has 2 kitchens. They opened up the living room. One room that was the living room coming into the front is now the foyer. And then they have the living room, and there's 2 bedrooms. Well, actually, there's 3 bedrooms upstairs, 2 bathrooms upstairs, and then there's a full bathroom downstairs and an enclosed porch.
Yeah, because it was quite not an unusual property, but the fact it was 2 knocked together, it gave it those extra, the extra things, if you like, the extra living space, if you like.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to flick through a few more pictures. I mean, this to me is I love this bit. I know this is before. This was the pictures I used to. Well, we just put it on the market, hadn't we? When you came out, it wasn't even on the market. I'd just taken the photographs.
Exactly.
But this shows again the kind of views from your lower terrace area. Did you use this much in the summertime?
No, not much. The only thing I used was cutting down all the bamboo. So I'm still working on the bamboo, because they've got no bamboo, and now it's completely covered with brushel and bush again. So I'm slowly getting it down, and I've got someone that's helping me get it all cleared up again. So it's a
long process, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think for people when they own land, I mean, what they don't realize here is all of these olive trees that I'm marking here, and then it sort of comes out this way, the land, and then it goes down, right down to the bottom of the valley that I wouldn't even dream of walking down. So I don't know if you've done it yet. All the way along the valley and all the way back up again, and they're all olive trees, and they're all yours. Have you actually been down in the olive grove yet?
I did when I first moved here. Brett and my sister and I walked as far as we could possibly get. And then when my sister and her boyfriend came, her boyfriend said, "Oh, I'm going to walk way down to the valley." I said, "Okay, good luck to you." And he walked down there, and he's like, "Could you throw me some water? I can't get up the hill." I tried to tell you. It's quite the steep incline, believe me.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is. And just showing this picture, I mean, people can't see here, but to the left here is the hilltop town of Carsoli. To the right here is Palombaro that people have seen. Straight ahead is a place called Civitella. And then right down in the crack of the mountain here is Faro San Martino. So again, every 5 or 10 minutes there's towns and villages in this.
Yeah, and there's another town I'm pointing, but back on the top of the mountain over there. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, this one here, I think this is Torricella that you can see from Torricella. And then there's Gesso Palena that's sort of hid around the back of this hill. And then obviously there's lots over to the far right and behind you as well, isn't there? But
yes.
I think some people may look at these things and think, my word, you're really remote. But we're not at all. I mean, how long does it take you in the car to get to the nearest supermarket?
It takes me 10 minutes to get to, well, actually.
Okay, folks, we just have to wait a minute. We are getting. Oh, sorry, Barbara's back. So we heard it takes 10 minutes to get to the nearest supermarket.
minutes.
Okay, we seem to have lost sound a second. It will hopefully come back. Oh yeah, I've got you again. So yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes to the local supermarket.
3 of them. I've got
Right.
3
Okay.
supermarkets. Yeah, and then 15 minutes down to Guadarelli. I can usually say it, but not today. Guadarelli. There you go. So yeah. I'm close to everything. I mean, it didn't take me long to get to anywhere.
Superb. So I'm just showing a few more pictures on here. This picture again. This is before you bought it, but this is the view from your kitchen, isn't it? And then going out onto your terrace.
Oh yes.
And the view, as I say, is just outstanding from your place. So a quick look inside. Again, this is before you bought it, but you've kept it. You liked this style, didn't you? The rustic style.
Yes, I've kept the ladder, but taken off the pots and pans, and they took some of the things with them, like the big thing on the right, and so I've changed a lot of the shelving, and I've done a little bit of different stuff here and there.
Yeah. So again, let's from the kitchen. Again, you can see the views and going out onto the terrace.
There's my living room.
Your living room, and I think that's about it. Yeah, I just finished it off with another photograph of. So that's basically the house. I mean, the views and everything incredible. As you said, the area you like being in the countryside, so that suited you just perfect. So when you bought the house, so if we go back to you came out in the April. Denise is saying, I'm looking to move alone myself in 2025. I watch this show weekly. Perhaps we can connect, Barbara. There you go. I'm sure you'll be able to offer loads of advice to people. And Patty said that she wanted your autograph as well. And she said that you should have an olive picking party. That's not a bad idea, actually. We might do that, actually. We could actually do an olive picking party on Barbara's land.
Well, I've got plenty to go right now. It's season right now.
Is anybody picking your olives? Is anybody doing it this year?
No. I saw somebody down further in the Grove Saturday and Sunday working on it, but they haven't moved quite up yet.
Okay.
And so, no, and I haven't gone out there to shake any of the trees either. So.
Superb. Somebody's asking if they left most of the furniture. Yes, they did. The people did leave. And Anne Gilbert is saying, we're from Texas near Fort Worth and are now looking for a house. Anne is on one of our tours as well, I think, if I've got the right Anne. Or if not, we may have already taken her. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about when you decided you wanted to buy the house. So this is April last year, and you said you'll leave it for us to do the signing and all the rest of it. You went along with the whole process. You obviously did everything that we asked you to do. You did the power of attorney, everything else. The idea was then that we were to sign, I think it was it in September, I think, originally, because I know the owners were moving back to the UK, so they needed some time to do all that. How did you feel about the process being over there in the States? I know we're in contact with each other, but how did you feel about the fact that I was sort of calling you up and saying you need to send all this money there and you need to do this, you need to do that? How did you feel about the whole process?
I felt very comfortable because I met you in advance and I got a good vibe from you. So if I can get a good vibe from you and you are a very trusting person, then I was very comfortable with sending money over. I was kind of nervous at first.
Right. Plus the threats that you gave to me when you found out where I lived as well.
Exactly. I know. I noticed you put that electric fence up there.
Yeah. Just need the builders to come and just build the wall that little bit higher.
Hey, I keep you in hot sauce.
That's true. That's true, Barbara. I will say that you introduced me to hot sauce and the thing is, I put it on absolutely everything now. That's the problem. So you felt comfortable with the process, and the only problem we had, we were due to do the signing, and the thing, I mean, considering that you did you paid a deposit, you did your visa application, which luckily you did in COVID. And tell everybody how some people are going to be quite upset about this because there's lots of people really stressing out now about getting a visa. How long did it take you?
A week and a half.
I mean, I can't remember. Svetla is on now. Dave's, thanks for taking time out for me and Tina today. Dave's the man. Great couple. I'm so glad. Sorry to interrupt, but great couple that I met today and buying a fantastic apartment in Sulmona. So thank you, Svetla. That was a nice comment. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it's. I mean, a week and a half. I remember you ringing me and saying, "I'm booking my tickets to come out," and I said, "Have you got your visa yet?" And you said, and it was something like a Friday, I think you posted everything. You were due to fly out 10 days later, and you said, not only have I not got my visa, but I haven't got my passport because you'd sent everything in. And and it literally came back with how many days to spare?
2 days.
I mean, I can't believe it. So many people are going to be kicking themselves because it seems to have gone back to how it was before getting a visa. Whereas with you just seem to, it just got stamped, didn't it, and sent straight out to you.
The thing about it is, you have to buy your airfare ticket before they grant you the permission. So that's the scary part. So yeah. I bought my airfare ticket just like they asked, and so I bought it, sent it, and they did it.
The hilarious thing was you bought the ticket, but you only applied for your visa 10 days before, and you had no doubt, did you, in your mind? I remember you saying, "Don't worry about it; it'll be all right. If it's meant to be, it will come back." And I was there. I was worrying more than you, and it was nothing to do with me, really, what was going off at that side.
And I know you called me more, asking me, "Have you got it yet? Have you got it yet?" No.
It was a crazy situation. And then the reality was then we couldn't do the power of attorney. You did the power of attorney. I don't know if that document ever showed up, but that document took so long to go to the Secretary of State and be posted back to you that you'd done your visa, you'd done absolutely everything before that came back. And we just thought, well, just come over and sign, didn't we? That's and that's what we did. So it's just but I just remember, and I remember vividly thinking, I remember saying to my wife, to Silvana, I said to her, there's no way she's coming over. It's impossible. You just can't be coming over. But sure enough, I remember your car pulling onto the drive, and there you were with all your bags and everything else. I think we may have lost Barbara again. I'm sure she'll come back on shortly. So, oh yeah, I can hear you laughing now. So yeah, I remember you pulling onto the drive, car absolutely full, and saying, "Well, I'm here." So along with your sister as well, that's as nearly as crazy as you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, luckily the owners were nice enough to say, yes, you can stay here, because once my sister and Brett left, I was without a car and nowhere to stay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because the power of attorney hadn't come back, so we had to cancel the notary, didn't we? I wasn't convinced that you would even make it back here, and everything fell into place. And luckily, as you say, the old owners, great people, said, "Yeah, you can stay in the house and no problems." So I think you're there about a week or 10 days, I think, wasn't it, before we actually signed, I think.
2 weeks, yes, before.
Yeah. So, and that was the story. I mean, it is a crazy story. So how did it feel when I know you were excited to get here and all the rest of it, and I knew you'd made that decision and that's what you were doing and that's it. But how did it feel when Brett and your sister left and you all of a sudden were here on your own with no car, if I remember? Oh, no, you didn't have a car, did you, either, at that point?
No, Savannah picked me up for a little over 2 weeks to take me to the grocery store.
I remember because we drive past Barbara's house to take our son to, I think he still does judo. And yeah, that's what my wife said. Well, I've got to go shopping. So you became shopping buddies for a while. But how did you feel when all of a sudden they went and you were on your own in Italy, no car, and you thought, and that's you're here? How did you feel?
I was kind of nervous at first, being without a vehicle and not being able to get around and having to
It always cuts off at the worst times, doesn't it? Don't worry, I will get Barbara to tell us this again, because she'll definitely come back on. It's unfortunate that when it pauses, it always pauses at the worst time. She's going to look back at this video now. It looks like she's going to just start singing shortly. Let me just hide her on the stream a second. Barbara will definitely be back with us. I can think she's here now. Okay, yep, come back on. Right, so everybody, I'm sure, was on the edge of the seat. So how you felt? You said it felt a little bit strange not having a car, but you know, how did you really feel when you was on your own?
Well, once I started getting out and driving, and I got my car, I got to rent a car, and driving and getting out to see things, I was a little nervous at first, but then I don't know, it just fell into place, and I started getting relaxed, and people were so friendly and so helpful. I don't know,
But for those first couple of days, you know, first couple of nights, did you just didn't really feel? I know you said you were a little bit nervous, but it felt right, or?
Yeah, it did feel right. The only thing I was nervous because, you know, you're so far away from your family, and I kept waking up so many times to check my cell phone, to check messages, you know, because you don't know what's happening at home. And so at first I was just very nervous about being home, being here alone in a strange place. But after a week or so, I got used to it, and I started to settle down a lot better.
Yeah, is that how long you would say it took? About a week before you start. When would you say you felt that you belonged here? I mean, I'm presuming you've got no intentions of going back. I'm presuming that's still the case, unless you're going to shock me now and tell me that you're going back. But I'm presuming that's still the case. When would you say you finally felt you were at home?
After, I'm going to have to say 6 months.
Yeah.
When I got everything settled, all the paperwork was done, I was unpacked, all my boxes were here, and all my personals were here. I felt more relaxed, and I felt more at home.
Brilliant. I think it's you know, again, people forget those little things that you, because you didn't have anything here. You just had what you could fit in a suitcase and a car. And you know, as you say, I suppose when your belongings started to come, and things like the internet, we tried to get up quite, you know, people are saying that's nerve-wracking, and it is. I mean, for anybody else sat here watching, I'm sure they're thinking, you know, how did you manage it on your own? But you did. You're still here. So so you said about 6 months before you started feeling at home. Did you have any thoughts that you may go back before that?
No, because I did the big move, and all my stuff was here, and the thought of having to pack it up and take it back and trying to find a new place to live, no, I just couldn't do that.
You didn't think at any point then, let's say when you were at the part where you think about family and everything, you didn't think, I've made a mistake?
No, not one time. No, I didn't. I have never had that feeling I made the mistake. The only feeling I've had was I made the mistake not doing it sooner.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That is that's so good to hear. So, and I also presume that things got a little bit easier when your next door neighbor started sharing lemon gels with you.
Yeah. Once a week.
Tell us about him.
He's really nice. Dominic is very nice. He's getting ready to turn.
I'm sorry, folks. This is it is just unfortunate, the internet. We will come back to Barbara in a second, because she has disappeared. I think she's coming back on. Yep. Sorry. Just once. Okay. Sorry, Barbara. You were just saying he's just about to turn
92.
92. Is that what he is now, Domenico? Yeah. I knew this would happen tonight. Let's Randall saying, wait a minute, it's not Thursday. Sorry, Randall. It was, I did try to advertise it as much as possible. Tuesday, but I will repeat it on Thursday. Hopefully Barbara's going to come back to us shortly. Here she is. No, she's disappeared. She'll come back on. She'll come back on. So yeah, sorry, Randall. Yeah, we changed it to Tuesday night, which is why, and Barbara's coming back on now. We're getting there. We're getting through this. We seem to be going through a stage. So he's just turned 92. How did he get to? Because I mean, Domenico doesn't speak any English at all.
No.
How did?
And neither does his handler, which she's not there anymore. I'm not sure what's happening there, but him and his handler don't speak English, and they just knocked on the door and they said, "Hey, come over for coffee and cake." I said, "Okay." So I went over and had coffee and cake, and Lord, did I not know he had limoncello hooch, homemade stuff.
It is.
Home with like 4 bottles of different kinds of liquor, and I was like, "Oh my."
I remember getting caught at his house once, and it was about 7:30 in the morning. I was doing some photographs for the council. It was coming to vote time, and they asked me to do some photographs for them, and we had to do it early because they wanted the sun coming up and lighting up Palombaro and everything else, and they had their photographs there. So at 7:30 we were on his homemade lemon gel, and I definitely know how that feels. So. Yeah. But again, you know, you went into the and this is Katie's got a good point here, and I'll talk about that as well in a second. But the kind of people Italians are, the fact that you don't speak English doesn't matter. The hospitality is still there. They just want you to be together.
Yes, and it's like I call them the Welder brothers that live down the road from me. They're really nice also. I got a message from the previous owners that they do their land for them. So I had gone over there with my broken Italian to ask him if he would start working my land for me. And he said, "Sure, I'll come over and do it." But it took a while. And then we had that 3 months of rain, and oh my gosh, you know how the weeds looked after 3 months and nobody could cut the grass. Yeah. So I needed him to come cut my grass because I was in between of people to come do my yard and still looking for somebody. And I went over to Dominic's and got his brother-in-law to come over to do it, and he came over. And then I went down to the Welder brothers, and he said, "Yeah, I'll come around, but you know, they're kind of slow." And so he was coming up my land one day after cutting his part of the land. And I got up on the balcony and just prayed. I just said, "Por favore, agree me, please." He said, "Okay." So he came out and did it for 3 days. And then the next month he came out. I didn't even ask, and turned my land for me. Then he came out and cut all my olive branches for me, picked up all of the branches and hauled them off. And I like it because they're on the honor system. You know, we don't come to your door and ask you to pay us. It's you to be the honor person to come over and to say, "Hey, how much do I owe you?" And that's what I did. I'd go over there and say, "What do I owe you?" And he'd tell me, and I'd say, "Okay, well, here you go," and pay him. And if I didn't have all the cash, I'd say, "I'll go to the bank, I'll come back." And I'd go to the bank and come back. And they were very surprised by that. But it's really nice because they do keep you in the honor system.
Yeah, no, it is fantastic, and the crazy thing, because as you say, this year we had a strange spring, and we had all that rain and everything else you said, which is very, very, very unusual. But the thing that I found really fantastic about the way you jumped into, I don't know, you didn't have a clue about the language, and I know you're still learning things now, but you just went for it, didn't you? You just thought, well, that's it. I'm just going to make these people. I mean, you even did some bartering with, if I remember rightly, for them to do something. You gave them a gas bottle, and you were doing some exchange of getting rid of things that you didn't need, that they maybe need, and then they do a favor for you. And that's how it works here. That's, you know, and you just jump straight into that. And fair play to you for doing that, because it's people like you that end up staying here for longer, because you don't just go to the expat. It's too easy to suddenly think, I'm just going to go with a load of English speakers and I'll live my life like that. whereas you sort of dove in straight away with your neighbors and all the rest of it, which is the right thing to do. I think she's just on pause at the moment. Hopefully she heard some of that. I'm just going to read some of these comments out. Let's just see what we've got here. I'd like to move to Italy sooner rather than later. I'm retired US military, but my wife wants to work for a few more years for a full pension from a US government career. Always a good idea, but yeah, you need to move as soon as proper. I think now you're back with us, aren't you? So what I was saying, I don't know if you heard what I was saying there. This is a nice comment as well from Denise. What an adventure. Tony's just turned it off. What an adventure. Scary, nervous, but you must have enjoyed the journey. I can't wait to start mine, even as a senior. So, I mean, you did, I don't know if you heard what I was saying, but it's fantastic that you went in with the Italians as well. And you sort of, because that's what you have to do. You have to get to know, because it makes your life better, doesn't it, at the end of the day? Now, somebody put a question up there asking if you've been part of any social groups or anything like that, maybe for people. Oh, here we are. It's Katie that I think, sorry, Tony, I think I found it for you. Barbara, have you joined any social groups or the like to meet more local people? So, well, I mean,
actually, no. I've networked from you. You've introduced me to some of your friends, and then through some of your friends, I've met some new people, and then through them, I've met some new people. So it's all kind of started networking itself through, and I've made a lot of friends, and I've gone places with them, and they've introduced me to some new people. So it just networks itself, and it was so easy.
So if there was somebody else that was considering doing this, I think you've paused again, Barbara. So I'm going to keep. I'll wait. We will get through. No, I think I've got you back. Yeah. So if there was somebody, which I'm sure there is now, I'm sure there's some people sat there thinking, I would love to do what she's doing, but I think I mean, Regina is saying that you're so brave and things like that. What would be your advice to those people?
Well, you've got to be open to get out there and do it. You just can't, because I've read through so many of the web expats who are like, oh, I got a car, but I'm not going to drive. I'm too scared. I'm going to stay home. You can't be like that. I mean, you can't just stay in your one little bubble area. There's so much to go out and see. You got to just do it, and that's what I did. And I wanted to go to Umbria, so I've never been on the train before by myself or done any of that adventure. And Tony, took me to the train station. He walked me in, got me on the train. This is your schedule. This is how it works.
I only think he did that only because he thought that he was going with you.
Well, when I asked for an Uber and I said, thanks for Uber, he's like, what's Uber?
Sorry for interrupting. So you went to Umbria because you've been to a couple of places, haven't you? So
yeah, I went to Umbria and spent a week in Umbria, and then Brett came in, so I took the bus to Fiumicino and I did an hour and a half of Rome in the taxi. Don't ever do that. That's expensive.
I can't believe you did that.
Well, it was raining and it was, the weather was kind of in. So anyway, and then I wasn't sure how to get to take the train to the airport. So I just did that, which was okay. I got to see, Rome again through the taxi, and then stayed in a real nice area in Fiumicino Comuni, which I really enjoyed. And then drove back to the airport with Brett, and then took the bus back to Pescara. And it's just real easy to do all that. Yeah. So I really liked it.
It's fantastic that you're considering, when you first came out, you were concerned about driving, and then you're off and you're all over Italy. And now it all just seems, by the looks of it, looks like second nature to you all. So to you, should I say. Obviously, somebody's just asking the question. Assume you had to wait to get your residency visa before you could get a car, or have you just been renting a car to get around? Well, this is where my wife has come into it. Silvana's come in to help you get in your residency and everything. You weren't that. I know you ordered a car, didn't you? So I think that was the longer the longer part to it all. I think she's just paused again. Sorry, I think I can hear. Can you hear me, Barbara?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I think that you rented a car. The actual getting the residency, because I know you're going as well with Silvana tomorrow, I think, isn't it?
To register for this first year, and then I can do it for 2-year registry.
Right. Okay. So when obviously Silvana, obviously people will know Silvana's my wife who runs this with us. So you went with her to sort out everything with the police stations and everything, get you registered here properly. How did that all go?
It did pretty good. It's pretty easy because you've got Silvana. She knows where to go, how to get what papers you need, and so it just seems it just fell in pretty easy instead of having to do it on my own. And so we went.
We're going to get through this, folks. We're definitely going to get through. We're going to hear the last parts of this. Just bear with us. Hopefully she'll come back on again in a few minutes. Every time the video pauses, you can see Tony looking at his computer, thinking that it's something that she's back. Sorry, just 1 second, Barbara, because the sound just seems to take a little while. The pictures come back on, but then the sound takes a little bit. Oh, now we've got you. So sorry, you went with Silvana. You said you felt that because she knows the system and the rest of it. Did you find it all fairly straightforward?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Yeah, it was. I mean, you just hand them. She tells you this is what you need. You hand them the paperwork. You go away, and then they call you and tell you, okay, you've been approved. You need to come on this date to pick up your residency card, and you just go and pick it up, and you're done. It's just the way their system is, though. They put you for a certain time to be there, but that doesn't mean anything. So.
And Silvana's quite good at pushing to the front of queues as well. That's the Italian in her, I think.
Exactly.
And you do tend to turn it into do a little bit of shopping as well while you're out and about in Chieti. So
I know, I always like, come on, let's go eat lunch, let's go shopping, let's go do this, and she's like, okay. So go shopping.
So Manette, I'm just going to show Manette is saying, I'm looking forward to meeting you, neighbor, because Manette's also buying in Palombaro town. So no doubt somebody else you can meet. So that's let me just see what. Sorry, Tony, you left me this one, Dave. This is a real testament to hear how much your team is still available to assist after the sale. Bravo, thank you very much. And that's what we do, because you can't just leave people alone, not in the wilds, but no, that's part of what we do, because we needed our hand holding as well when we made this move, and we appreciate the business that people give to us, and then obviously things can go on from there. So Barbara, I would say now you're at the stage. Tomorrow you're doing the renewal with the police station and everything else. What's next for you? What can you see the next 5 years looking like?
Well, I don't know. It's always a new day and a new adventure. So, I just want to go out and see more things and start traveling a lot more. I'm going to go home for Christmas this year, so it'll be the first year home since I left. So I'm planning to eat my way through Fort Worth and then come home.
Brilliant. So that's good that you're going home for Christmas, because I mean, again, you can do that, can't you? It's not that you're here and you're not going to see your family again, and they obviously come out to see you as well. So it's I don't know, you seem to have grasped it. So it's more of the same, would you say, for the next few years? Is that what the plan is?
Exactly. And my niece came out to visit, and we had such a good time because
we'll get this last part, folks. You've been great. All of you.
And drive 45 minutes.
So sorry, Barbara. If you just hold on just 1 second, because we just heard you saying that your niece came out, and I know you're very close to your niece. So just tell us about that again. Sorry.
Oh, she came out, and you always tell how close you are to the beach and to the ski resorts, and it is. We drove back and forth to Fossa Cesia. went to Limoges, went to San Vito, and we just drove all over the place. And it's so close and so easy to get to everywhere with no problem.
Brilliant. Excellent. Okay, Barbara. Well, I think we've got through just about everything. We're definitely going to have to do another update, another year in or something like that. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, and no doubt we'll see you again really soon. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep drinking those lemon gels. That helps when winter finally comes.
That's for sure. I do stay warm.
Even though, having said that, at the moment it's still like summer, isn't it? At the moment, so
it's pretty warm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't know when winter's going to finally kick in. Okay, well, thanks so much. I really appreciate you doing this for us, and good luck tomorrow with the next part of your visa and stuff. I'm sure everything will be fine, and we'll catch up really, really soon.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
See you, Barbara. Bye. Bye. Okay, folks, how about that? What a great story. She's a great person as well, Barbara. She's a really nice person, and so she should be an inspiration to others that want to do this, because I think when people are looking to change their life and decide to do it, I think it's a fantastic thing. You know, we did it. Certainly didn't do it on our own. We did it with a couple of kids, and it's the best thing that we did, definitely. And I think we all feel the same. And it's so nice to hear others as well that have done that and made a success of it. And I'll say it again, the most successful people are the ones that want to integrate, not just with English speakers. That's always great to have, and it's always great to have a network of people who you know and that can speak your language. But the best way of integrating is getting in with the locals, because the best thing about living, in my opinion, living in Italy is the people. Italy, we know, is an amazing place. It's a fantastic place. But the best thing about living here, and what you enjoy the most, is your neighbors and that sense of community spirit that you don't find in many countries now. But it's still here, it's still alive, and it's still kicking. Okay, guys, thank you so much. For those of you who have missed, I'm going to try. I don't know if I can add this for any of you that's come late. It will be on our YouTube channel, but I may set it so it runs at the same time on Thursday in case anybody missed it. I'll have to see if I can do that. Yeah, thanks for sticking with us. Even though sometimes the internet went a little bit, what was that? Katie's put, if Barbara can make this move to Italy on her home, she can sure get through a little spotty Wi-Fi this evening, and so can we. No, that's true. So yeah, thanks very much for sticking with it, and yeah, what a great story. I think it is anyway. We'll see you next Thursday. This week, I am going to be putting a few lives on as we take the group around the area again. As I've said to you before, January next year, the tour's full. March is the tour's full. May has still got some spaces on there, but we are considering doing April. So if April would be right for you to visit, it would be the end of April. It would always be Thursday, Friday. And then send me an email to info@homeministry.com and let me know that you'd be interested in that, and then we can start booking the dates once we see how many people are actually interested. Thank you so much. Next Thursday with David Nixon from Currencies Direct. He's gonna got to read this one. Mr. Arturo, hi from rainy Doncaster. Love the channel, Dave. That's where I used to live. There you go, rainy Doncaster. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Next week, David Nixon from Currencies Direct is going to be here to show you how you can save thousands on foreign currency, and you'll get to meet him. Fantastic guy, and he's another part of this huge cog that just helps helps you get here to Italy. Okay, thank you so much, guys. See you next Thursday. I think I'm still live at the minute because I've still got eyes showing on me. I think I'm definitely still live. Let me try that again. If you are watching, then this is the backstage part.